Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 2021 Boys Suburban 1 Liberty Conference Championships.
As you heard, today is the 2021 Liberty Division Suburban 1 Championships. The 6 teams involved: Hepburn Horsham, Wissahickon, Quakertown, Plymouth Whitemarsh, Hepburn Horsham, and Abington, and Upper Dublin. Today's first event will be the boys' 200-yard medley relay. And things are a bit different this year, as everybody knows. As a result, there is space between each of the relays. In the first heat, lane 2 will be Hatboro, B. Lane 5 will be Wissahickon, B. And lane 8 will be Abington, C. The medley relay, in case you've forgotten, swims one of the 4 competitive strokes. The first swimmer will swim back, then breaststroke, then butterfly, and then freestyle. And now's the national anthem. Swimming for Hepburn in lane 2, Barty, Pay, O'Donnell, and Cooper. Wissahickon in lane 5, Donnie, Ford, Riddell, and Ilionet. And in lane 8 for Abington C, Suck, Zapochets, Bothwell, and Sharnikow. My suggestion is get,
Gentlemen, you can head on out to the bulkhead.
get this where you're comfortable. You're going to have to kind of fall back and forth. And if you want, at the end of the race, you can tilt up or frame the scoreboard. The atmosphere this year is a little different, as almost all of the athletes are being housed in the gymnasium right now, and only those swimming this event are in the natatorium itself. So even though it's going to be a little quiet, I think the spirit will still be high. Everyone's just excited to be able to participate today. Also, things are different with districts this year. They're only taking the top 16. And as a result, there is a baseline time for each event. The baseline time for this event, 1:42.37. So a relay must accomplish that time in order to be considered for districts. So again, lane 2 is the furthest away from us. Lane 5 is in the middle, obviously, and lane 8 is the closest. And right now it seems to be a battle between the backstrokers of Hatboro, Barty, and Abington. So Barty touches with a time of 31.29, giving Hatboro a little over a 2-second lead. The breaststrokers are now in the water. For Hatboro, the breaststroker is Pei. For Abington, it's Zaporoshets. And Zaporoshets puts Abington C in the lead by about a second. His split, 33.60. And now it's a battle between the butterflyers. O'Donnell for Hatboro, Bothwell for Abington. And making a late charge is Riddell from Wissahickon. The split for Bothwell, 29.85, and he maintains about a second lead over Hatboro. In the water for Abington is Sharnacow, and making a charge for the Hatboro is Cooper. And this is going to come down to a touch. Oh, and Hatboro Horsham touches out Abington by 1/100th of a second for first place in Heat 1. There are 4 heats of this event.
Down to the deep end.
The Hatboro time 2:04.81. The Abington time 2:04.82.
In the water.
And Wissahickons time 2:11.75. The next heat in lane 2 will be Abington B. In lane 5 will be Upper Dublin B. And in lane 8 will be Plymouth Whitemarsh B. For Abington, it will be Pasquarello, Kostiuk, Franchetti, and Rollins. For Upper Dublin, Andrews, Heisman, Chickarone, Ruocco. And for Plymouth Whitemarsh, it will be Cavalo Huey, Manley, Crasson, and Tavery. Okay. What do you got here? Here. The backstrokers are in the water. And the way the seating is arranged is the heats get faster as the event goes on. And typically the fastest times or the fastest seed times are put in the middle of the pool. There seems to be a slight delay with the starting unit right now. Well, yes, you know, until you focus in on it, it's hard. This isn't really designed for this is where the camera. And we're ready for the start. With the backstrokers, what you're looking for is off the start and off the turn, them using their streamline and fly kicks underwater to carry distance, because believe it or not, that's actually faster than being on the surface. Right now, Andrews, in the middle of the pool from Upper Dublin, is getting out to an early lead. And his split doesn't show up. It was about a 28 something. And right now, it's Heisman in the water swim breaststroke. In lane 2, it's Kostiak from Abington, and in lane 8, it's Manley from PW. In the water is Chickarone from Upper Dublin. Luca had a very fast start. And Upper Dublin seems to be dominating this heat of the race. We won't have quite as close a finish, maybe for second place. Chickarone split, 27.65. And in the water for Upper Dublin now, Ruocco. And Upper Dublin finishes with a time of 1:48.28. Ruocco split 23.96. Abington second 1:54.05. And Plymouth Whitemarsh B third 1:59.37.
Thank you, gentlemen. Please head down towards the diving boards.
Unless you tilt it up and really go in. Yeah, I think that's the best. I mean, let's see it. What coaches are looking at is how well they did against their seed time. Abington's relay broke their seed time by over 3 seconds. Upper Dublin by about a second.
Lane 5, Abington A. Lane 8, Quakertown A.
For Wissahickon in this next heat, in lane 2, Wissahickon A is going to be Roman, Bowers, Latchford, and Cratius. In lane 5, it's Abington A of McHugh, Irvine, James, and Moe. And in lane 8 will be Quakertown A, Einoff, Pfeiffer, and Levinchuk. and the backstrokers are off. And you can see as the heats go on, you're also going to see stronger swimmers, and they can maintain that underwater fly kick just even a little bit further. Some will try to get all the way to the black marker that you see. That's the 15-meter mark, and they have to be up on the surface. Break the surface of that before the 15-meter mark. So if you see that black buoy, the breaststrokers are now in the water. And right now, Einoff from Quakertown, that's Josh Einoff, is in the lead. But catching up in lane 5 is Ethan Irwine of Abington. And we've got a race. Irwine split 28.60. Very nice. Anything in the 28s or lower is a good split. 31.9 for Einoff. The Ames is in swim butterfly for Abington in lane 5. And Pfeiffer for Quakertown. And now this is a tight race. The two teams are separated by 5/100ths of a second at this point. So it's all up to the anchor legs. Mo for Abington in lane 5, Litvinchuk from Quakertown. And it looks like Mo is going to make it, and he does. Abington's time, 1:46.06. Mo split, 23.30. Quakertown 1:46.47 in second, and Wissahickon A 1:51.49 third place. This is the fourth and final heat of the medley. In lane 2 will be Upper Dublin A, Andrelonis, Yoon, Modelson, and Brennan.
And our final heat is in 1.
Lane 5 will be PWA, Riley Coyle, Sushland, Brennan Coyle, and Huon. And in lane 8, Hatboro A, G, Yi, Juliana, and Warren. From the split times, from the seed times, it's going to be a good race right across the board. Feel free to comment. And they're off. So you can see right there, this heat, those backstrokers went well past the halfway mark underwater with their fly kicks. And right now, Coyle from PW has the early lead, but he's being pressed by G of Hatboro. Riley Coyle's time, 25.56. David G's time, 25.57. Doesn't get a whole lot closer than that. It's Suchland in the water in breaststroke for PW. And Yi in the water for Hatboro. And coming up on the outside is Michael Huon from Upper Dublin. Sushland's time, 27.30. Again, a nice split. G's time, 27.64. And Huon's 28.20. That's Brennan Coyle in the water for PW. Breathing far too much. And that is Juliana from Hatboro. Coyle, 24.41. Juliana, 24.64. And it's coming down to the freestyle leg. And PW in with the win. Huon split, 21.88. And Warren split from Hatboro, 21.33. PW first place, 139.15. Hatboro 139.18. 3/100ths of a second separates first and second. Again, hard to get closer than that. Upper Dublin's in third with a very respectable 141.54, a good 2-second drop from their seed time.
Up next, event number
And
2,
Brennan at the end of that went
Suburban
21.57. So all of those swimmers were in the 21s for those anchor legs.
Nick Williams, lane 5, Aaron Taylor, lane 6, Luke
This is the first heat of the 200-yard freestyle race. This is 8 lengths of the pool for each swimmer. In lane 3, Frisch of Quakertown. In lane 4, Williams of Abington. In lane 5, Taylor of PW. Lane 6, Irvine of Abington. Lane 7, Ham of Hatboro. And lane 8, Weiss of Wissahickon. The 200 freestyle is a difficult race because it's somewhere in that netherland between sprinting and distance. The best 200 freestylers, though, don't consider this a distance event. They come out and attack it. And you can see right away in the middle of the pool, there's a little bit of separation. Irvine and Ham getting out ahead of everyone else by almost a second. Now they're going to settle into a little slower rhythm and try to maintain the space that they got in that first 50. One of the things you should watch is the distance off the wall. Right now in lane 6, Irvine is swimming a lot more distance than Ham is because Ham is using his streamlines off the wall. And as such, he's got a slight lead at the 100 mark. One of the things coaches also like to see is nobody taking a breath on the first stroke out of a turn. Again, they want to be able to stretch that streamline in underwater distance. Right now, Ham is 2/10ths of a second ahead of Irvine for the lead. And Ham seems to be stretching it out now. And he's going to have a very good time. There you are. Zach Ham is your first place finisher in Heat 1 with a time of 2:07.32. Irvine of Abington second, 2:09.71. Taylor of PW third, 2:11.96. Williams of Abington, 2:14.23. Frisch of Quakertown, 2:20.22. And Weiss coming in. Charlie Weiss from Wissahickon in lane 8. And Weiss finishes in a time of 2:46.84. Again, one of the things you're looking for is improvement. And there certainly was there. Ham went from a seed time of 2:15.94 to a time of 2:07.32. That's an 8-second drop. Heat 2, Cooper of Hatboro in lane 2. Lane 3, Ionity of Upper Dublin. Lane 4, Caldwell of Upper Dublin. Lane 5, Latchford of Wissahickon. Lane 6, Chicarone of Upper Dublin. Lane 7, Butcher of Quakertown. 8, Fazio, PW. 9, Davis of PW. Again, your eye is drawn to the middle of the pool, but even in these early heats, it's not always the case that the fastest is coming from the middle. As you saw last time, lane 6, or lane 7 actually won the race. And Caldwell's out to the early lead with a split of 26.95. He seems to be attacking this race. He seems to have like a little longer reach right now. And that has made a difference. And I hate to beat a dead horse, but you want to keep looking at their underwaters. See how strong they are coming off the wall. And Caldwell seems to be stretching out that lead as we get to the 100 mark. He hits the wall at 56.68. That's a nice first 100. Especially for somebody who's seated at 2 minutes point 22. It certainly seems that if he's able to maintain some of this pace, he'll be well under 2 minutes in the finish. And Chickarone from Upper Dublin has got himself into second place, and he seems to be making some headway, closing the gap on Caldwell. The two teammates battling it out. So Caldwell got out to the early lead, seems to be tightening up a little bit, whereas Chickarone is still putting the pressure on him. And it's going to be a battle at the end. Like I said, this is a tough race to figure out, and you have to swim it a lot in order to get that idea. Caldwell is now out of the picture in terms of the lead, and it looks like Chickarone is going to finish strong. But coming up on Chickarone's right is Latchford from Wissahickon, and we've got ourselves a battle for the finish. Chickarone, 2 minutes point 25, and that's a first place. Second place, Latchford of Wissahickon, 2 minutes point 31. Third place, Caldwell, who had the lead for 2/3 of the race, 2 minutes point 89. Fourth place, fourth place, fourth place was Fazio of Wissahickon in a time of 2:01.25. Nice drop for him. Okay, this final heat, lane 2, Valentine Wissahickon, lane 3, in Upper Dublin, lane 4, Vitella Upper Dublin, lane 5, Keeler Upper Dublin, lane 6, Brennan Upper Dublin, lane 7, Horton of Abington, lane 8, D'Onofrio of Wissahickon, and lane 9, Alderson of Hatboro. Again, this is the fastest heat right now. Upper Dublin's got 4 swimmers in there, so it's almost like a little intramural meet. But the Upper Dublin group is going to be challenged by Horton of Abington. Right now, the lead split is Connor Brennan with a 24.42 in lane 6. And it looks like the Upper Dublin trio of Brennan, Keeler, and Vitella are going to come in 1, 2, 3 at the 100 mark. Connor Brennan out in 51.69. That's a nice swim right now. If he can keep that pace up, he's going to be in the 140s. Right now it's Brennan and Keeler with Vitella coming up on the right. Again, Upper Dublin showing its dominance here in this event with the top 3 spots. And here comes in lane 2. Lane 3. To try to complete the sweep, and they might. And there's Keeler coming out to the lead. Brennan tightening up there at the end. Keeler 147.75 for first place. Vitella 149.36. Brennan 149.85. All 3 of them broke that 150 mark. In fourth, 150.53. Horton of Abington 150.57. In 6th place, D'Onofrio of Wissahickon 155.28. In 7th, Alderson of Hatboro 156.26. And in lane 2, Valentine of Wissahickon 159.71. Upper Dublin, again, showing its dominance in that event, going 1, 2, 3, 4, claiming the first 4 scoring positions. We're now on to the 200-yard individual medley. This is an 8-lap race as well, only this time each swimmer is swimming all 4 individual competitive strokes. They'll start off with 50 backstroke or 50 butterfly, then backstroke, then breaststroke, and freestyle. In lane 3, Riddell of Wissahickon. Lane 4, Cratius of Wissahickon. Lane 5, Yee of Hatboro. Lane 6, Ford of Wissahickon. Lane 7, Babka of PW. And lane 8, Cooper of Hatboro. They're in the butterfly leg. You'll see the lead probably change hands a couple times over this, depending upon the strong stroke of the swimmer. So just because you're out in the lead early doesn't mean that you'll hold it, because you might not have the strongest next stroke down the line. And right now, Cratius of Wissahickon is out with the fastest butterfly time of 28.74. Yee from Hatboro is starting to make his move in the backstroke. And right now, those two are head-to-head. Cratius and Yee in lanes 4 and 5. Yee's split, 35.26, puts him in the lead. And now you're on the breaststroke leg. And it looks like Yee's a breaststroker because he seems to be stretching that out, being really efficient in the stroke and getting a lead on the rest of the field. Clearly, Yee's breaststroke is the superior breaststroke of the field, and he's splitting a 36.50, and he's given himself a 5-second lead over the rest of the heat. Most coaches would agree that breaststroke is the key leg in the individual medley. If you can be a breaststroker, you can be an individual medleyist. Yee comes in, splitting 32.51 for freestyle and a first place time of 2:14.92. Second place, Babka of PW, 2:18.41. Third place, Cratius of Wissahickon, 2:20.50. Fourth place, Ford of Wissahickon, 2:21.07. Fifth place, Riddell of Wissahickon, 2:28.65. And finishing in sixth, Cooper of Hatboro,
Our final
2:45.75.
heat, event number 3, heat number 2, lane 2, John Franchetti, lane 3, David G, lane 4, Michael Yu, lane 5, Riley Coyle, lane 6, Caleb Einoff, lane 7, Jonas Andrelonis, lane 8, Daniel Salamo, lane 9, Dean Zucker.
Okay, so what you're looking at in this heat, Franchetti of Abington in lane 2, G of Hatboro in 3, Yoon of Upper Dublin in 4, Coyle of PW in 5, Einhoff of Quakertown in 6, Andrelonis of Upper Dublin in 7, Salamoff of Upper Dublin in 8, and Sushland of PW in 9. The minimum standard time for this event in order to qualify for districts, 2:05.95. So these guys are trying to get under 2:05, and I'm willing to bet they're also trying to get under 2 minutes, because 2 minutes is a good benchmark. And right now, out in the early lead is Einhoff of Quakertown with a split in the fly of 24.99. Coyle just behind him at 25.50, and the two of them are battling head-to-head, kind of leaving the field behind right now. Both of these guys seem to have really nice backstrokes. as they're distancing themselves from the rest of the field. Coyle, 29.31, his split, and Einoff, 29.62. Einoff had a 0.2 of a second lead going into the breaststroke, but it looks like Coyle now is making his move. I'll tell you, that breaststroke turn is difficult because you're tired and all you want to do is get up for air, but you've got to hold that streamline and get some distance. Coyle has gotten himself what looks like to be about a 1 second lead over Einoff with a 34.45 breaststroke split, and that was 1 second faster than Einoff, and that's all he needed. Coyle is now in the lead coming into the freestyle. And what they want to do is kind of keep it long and try not to breathe too much, get it to the wall, and Coyle will do that. And his time, 158.04. That's a real nice time. Again, under 2 minutes is great. In second place is Einoff of Quakertown, 159.03. In third place, G of Hatboro with a time of 2 minutes, 0.76. In fourth place, Yoon of Upper Dublin with a 201.66. In fifth place, Angelonis of Upper Dublin, 202.76. In sixth place, Salamoff Upper Dublin, 207.61. In seventh place, Franchetti of Abington, 209.44. And in lane 9, or in eighth place from lane 9, Dean Sushland of PW, 213. All those guys seem to have crushed their seed times by at least 2 seconds a person. That was a good swim. Now we have the 50-yard freestyle. This is the fastest event in the meet, up and back. This is about a start, a turn, turnover, and a kick. In lane 3, Danny from Wissahickon. Lane 4, Carbone from PW. Lane 5, Ilyanet from Wissahickon. Lane 6, Armstrong of PW. Lane 7, Lynch of PW. And 8, Ford of Wissahickon. Reaction time off the block is critical. And in lane 5, Ilyanet seemed to have gotten off fastest. And he's got the lead at the wall. You don't want to be left behind on the block for this event. Now it looks like Ilyanet will get that first place finish, and he does with a time of 28.13. That's a nice 1.5 second drop on his seed time. In second place, Armstrong of PW, 28.80. In third place, Lynch of PW, 30.41. In fourth place, Carbone PW, 31.94. In fifth place, Denis of Wissahickon with a time of 36.96. And in sixth place was Ford of Wissahickon, 38.66. Heat 2, Liu of PW in lane 2. Lane 3, McGinnis of PW. Lane 4, Dupuis of Wissahickon. Lane 5, Kinyunjua of PW. Lane 6, Charnicow of Abington. Lane 7, Barty of Hatboro. Lane 8, Crazen of PW. And lane 9, Rhodes of Abington. Again, watch the reaction time off the block. First person off is usually the first person to the wall. The field is a little tighter in this, not quite as spread out as the last heat. So now the finish might be a big factor in this. It's about putting your head down and getting your hand to the wall the fastest. And right now it looks like lane 7, Barty of Hatboro. Yes, Barty of Hatboro, 26.91. Crazen of PW second, 27.14. McGinnis of PW third, 27.74.
Heat 3, lane 2, Ferris Ube. Lane 3,
Can you G?
Lane Michael
was fourth
Zaporozhye.
with a time of
Lane
27.83.
8 Garcia. Lane 6, Jimmy Ryan. Lane 7 is declared false start. Lane 8, Kenny Cutler. Lane 9, Sam Irwine.
Okay, heat 3. Lane 2, Obaid of PW. Lane 3, Tavery of PW. Lane 4, Zaposhets of Abington. Lane 5, Garcia of Abington. Lane 6, Ryan of PW. Lane 8, Cutler of PW. And lane 9, Irwine of Abington. Lane 7 is open. Looks like Garcia is first to the wall, and he is. Comes out of his turn, and he's making some space between him and the rest of the field. Garcia finishes at a time of 25.34 for first place. Ryan of PW in second with 26.90. Cutler of PW third, 27.25. Zaposhets of Abington, 27.50. Fifth place, Obaid, 27.67. Tavery, sixth place, 27.97. And in seventh place, Irwine of Abington, 29.37. And this is heat 4. In lane 2, Homeland of Upper Dublin. 3, Manley of PW. 4, Diaquano of Wissahickon. 5, Heisman, Upper Dublin. 6, Andrews of Upper Dublin. 7, Caldwell of Upper Dublin. 8, O'Donnell of Hatboro. And lane 9, Tavery of Plymouth Whitemarsh. That one's tight to call. It's either Heisman or Andrews that are first to the wall in the middle of the pool. Coming up on the outside is O'Donnell in lane 8. Ooh. And it's Andrews touching out his teammate, Andrew Heisman. Andrews, first place, 24.86. Heisman, second, 24.92. Third place is Manley of PW, 25.13. Lane 4, fourth place was O'Donnell of Hatboro, 25.26. Fifth place, Holman of Upper Dublin, 25.49. And sixth place was Caldwell of Upper Dublin with a time of 25.82. Heat 5 of 6. In lane 2, Josh Onoff of Quakertown. Lane 3, Kern of Hatboro. Lane 4, Letvinchuk of Quakertown. Lane 5, Bell of PW. 6, Rollins of Abington. 7, Decker of Wissahickon. 8, Shopey of Wissahickon. And lane 9, Bowers of Wissahickon. Looks like lane 5 was a scratch, Bell of PW. And a late charge, it's Litvinchuk of Quakertown with a time of 24.27, takes the heat. Rollins of Abington, 24.32 for second. Third place, Kern of Hatboro, 24.64. And Decker in fourth, 24.65. And the final heat of the 50. Lane 2 of Wissahickon is Crump. Lane 3, Brennan Coyle of PW. Lane 4, Pfeiffer of Quakertown. Lane 5, Warren of Hatboro. Lane 6, Rajesh of Wissahickon. Lane 7, Suit of Abington. 8 is Mo of Abington. And 9 is Rocco of Upper Dublin. Final heat of the 50. Warren is taking his lead out. He was the first to the wall, and he looks like he's going to be in first. Second place is going to be a battle. Warren wins with a time of 21.92. Coyle in second, 23.30. Third place, Suit of Abington, 23.37. Fourth place, Heifer of Quakertown, 23.65. Fifth place, Mo of Abington, 23.70. Sixth place, Rajesh of Wissahickon, 23.76. Seventh, Morocco of Upper Dublin, 24.09. And in eighth was Crump of Wissahickon, 24.63. 21.92 puts Tyler Warren well ahead of the minimum time for districts of 22.90. He's the only one that broke that barrier. So out of that race, he'd be the only one considered for district entry. Okay. So right now we have a 15-minute break between the 50 free and the next event, which would be the 100-yard butterfly.
Very fast.
No.
Announcing the results for the first 4 events. We are announcing these results in the gym for the athletes, and the medals will go to the coaches. For the medley relay, in 3rd place from Upper Dublin, the relay team of Michael Yoon, Spencer Modelson, Connor Brennan, and Jonas Androlonis. In 2nd place from Capro Warshow, the relay team of David G, Victor Yee, Jack Juliana, and Tyler Warren. And in 1st place from Plymouth Whitemarsh High School with a time of 1:39.15, Cameron Kuhn, Riley Coyle, Brennan Coyle, and Dean Suxland. Event number 2, boys 200-yard freestyle. In 3rd place from Upper Dublin, Connor Brennan. In 2nd place from Upper Dublin, Jack Vitella, and in 1st place with a winning time of 1:47.75 from Upper Dublin, Aiden Keeler. Event number 3, boys 200-yard individual medley. In 3rd place from Capital Worsham, David G. In 2nd place from Quakertown, Caleb Einoff. And in 1st place from Plymouth Whitemarsh High School with a time of 1:58.04, Riley Coyle. And event number 4, boys 50-yard freestyle. In 3rd place from Abington High School, Benny Stute. In 2nd place from Plymouth Whitemarsh High School, Brennan Coyle. And in 1st place from Capro Worship with a time of 21:92, Tyler Warren. Timers, please report back to the bulkhead. Timers, please report back to the bulkhead. Okay, getting started again. Event number 5, boys 100-yard butterfly. There will be 3 heats. Heat 1, lane 4, Kevin Ferreira. Lane 5, Noah Bothwell. Lane 6, Kyle Dupuy. Swimmers, go ahead and head out to the bulkhead.
The minimum time for qualifying for districts in the 100 butterfly will be 55.94. So these guys are going to be looking for anything under 56. In lane 4, Pereira from PW. Lane 5, Bothwell of Abington. 6, Long of Hatboro. And 7, Dupuy of Wissahickon. The first heat of the boys' 100-yard butterfly. 4 lengths to the pool butterfly. The keys to this race is trying to maintain a good breathing pattern, have nice relaxed arms in the recovery, and of course, using those underwater fly kicks. Cut the pool down, as we say, make it shorter so you don't have to take as many pulls, and you have a little bit more strength at the end. So as you watch the heats progress, you'll see probably more distance underwater from the swimmers. The butterfly is the toughest of the competitive strokes. It requires rhythm, and it requires strength because you have to get both arms out of the pool at the same time. Well, right now, Long of Hatboro in lane 6. Beautiful. First 50, 28.74. His seed time is 109.36, and right now he is well ahead of that pace. As he hits that third turn, he looks nice and strong. You can see him use those underwater kicks. He gets past the flags. Bothwell is in second, and there's a battle for third between Pereira and Dupuy. Yep, Long, 102.09, first place. Bothwell in second from Abington, 107.05. In third place is Dupuy of Wissahickon, 112.21. And in lane 4 was fourth place Pereira of PW. That 102.09, that's a 7-second drop for Long in that 100 fly.
Lane 6, John Franchetti. Lane 7, RK Boyd. Lane 8, Bennett Cavallaro Queen. Lane 9, Zach Coleman.
Lane 2, Diaquano of Wissahickon. 3, Pasquarello Abington. 4, Schilling of Wissahickon. 5, Chickarone of Upper Dublin. 6, Franchetti of Abington. 7, Boyd of Upper Dublin. 8, Cavallo Huey of PW. And lane 9, Homeland of Upper Dublin. These guys' seed time is all around the same time as Long just swam in his last race. So this is going to be interesting. That's Schilling out to the early lead in lane 4, 27.19. So he's a good full second and some ahead of the rest of the field at the 50 mark. Now lane 6, it's Franchetti of Abington coming up to challenge Schilling, and those two are going to battle it out for the win, and it's going to come down to Schilling of Wissahickon with a time of 59.85. In second place, Franchetti of Abington, 102.35. Lane 7, Boyd of Upper Dublin, 102.47. In third, In fourth, Chickarone of Upper Dublin, 102.60. Fifth, Homeland of Upper Dublin, 103.26. Now the final heat
Our final heat of event number 5.
of the butterfly.
Heat 3, lane 2, Chucky Eames. Lane 3, Jack Juliana. Lane 4, David Piper. Lane 5, Asher Portnoy. Lane 6, Spencer Modelson. Lane 7, Dylan McNaughton. Lane 8, Michael Jaworczewski. Lane 9, Owen Latchford.
Upper Dublin has 3 in this final heat. And right now everybody's pretty even. Nobody's making a move quite yet. It's Jaworczewski in lane 8 with the fastest opening split of 25.96. And he looks strong, but he's going to be challenged by Mignona of Hatboro and by his own teammate, Modelson. Again, it looks like Jaworczewski got the lead by stretching out that underwater, and he's trying to hold on right now. Got to put his head down and get to the wall. And Jaworczewski with the win. 55.76. Nice time for Michael. Second place, Modelson of Upper Dublin, 56.13. Third place, Mignona of Hatboro, 56.29. Fourth place, Portnoy of Upper Dublin, 57.16. Fifth place, Juliana of Hatboro, 57.62. Sixth place, Latchford of Wissahickon, 58.54. Seventh place, Pfeiffer of Quakertown, 58.67. And in eighth place, Ames of Abington, 1 minute .07. So 7 out of the 8 underneath that minute mark. And Jaworczewski definitely the only one right now that broke that district qualifying time of 55.94. He was 55.76. There's a short break between the butterfly and the 200 freestyle relay, which will be our next event. Yeah, well, because they changed the this mirrors the championship. It was like a basic conference. It's like the 200 relay. It's like the end of the first day of events. So everything's going to happen the same day anyway. They keep that.
back into it, folks. Event number 6, boys 200-yard freestyle relay. There are 4 heats. Heat 1, lane 2, Hatboro B. Lane 4, White Marsh B. Lane 6, Abington C. Lane 7, Wissahickon C.
Okay, we have 4 heats of the 200-yard freestyle relay. Each swimmer is going to be swimming a 50. In lane 2 for Hatboro, it's going to be Ham, Cooper, and Barty. Lane 4 for PW, Manley, Keene, Jua, Babka, and Cutler. Lane 6, Rhodes, Sook, Charnicow, and Zaprashetz from Abington. And in lane 8 from Wissahickon, Ford, Dunny, Dupuy, and Diaquano. PW out to the early lead. That's Manly's split of 25.20. This is the PWB relay. Hatboro's relay in lane 2 is also their B relay. The 2 relays in lane 6 and 8 are C relays. The split from Hatboro brings them into the lead. That would have been Ethan Cooper, and his time of 25.27 puts Hatboro out ahead. But it is a battle between PWB and Hatboro B. Right now it's Seth Cooper in for Hatboro and Alex Babka for PW. And Babka touches and gives the lead back to PW. His split of 26.58 puts PW in the lead by 0.4 going into the final leg. The key is getting a good strong turn. Even though you want it to be fast, you've got to make sure you make it to the wall and get a good push off. And that's Cutler for PW with a split of 26.43, and PW wins 145.60. Hatboro was second, 145.66. That was Barty at the end of that. Third place was Abington C, 151.92, and in fourth place, Wissahickon C, 159.59.
Thank you, gentlemen. Head on down to the diving board end.
And this will be Heat 2. There will be 4 teams in this as well. In lane 2 will be Abington. Abington B will be Garcia, Irvine, and Rollins. In lane 4 will be Upper Dublin B, Salamoff, Caldwell, Boyd, and Heisman. Lane 6, Wissahickon B, Shoppy, Bowers, Schilling, and D'Onofrio. And in lane 8, PWC, Taylor, Obeid, Lynch, and Ferrara. It looks like the race is going to be in the middle of the pool between Upper Dublin B and Wissahickon B, as both of them are seated in 142. Although right now Abington gets out to the early lead. And that would be Pascarella. I'm sorry, that would be Garcia. Garcia split 23.84. And that gets Abington the early lead. Upper Dublin split 24.42 from Salamov. In the water for Upper Dublin right now, Caldwell. He's bringing that lead back to Upper Dublin. Caldwell split 25.05. Abington only 2/10 behind that. That's Boyd in the water for Upper Dublin, and he's going to give it to the anchor leg with a lead. Andrew Heisman in the water now. Boyd split 24.69. That's Andrew Heisman in the water for Upper Dublin. And it looks like he'll maintain that lead, and Upper Dublin will get first in this heat. His split 24.04, and the Upper Dublin B team 138.20. Wissahickon second in a time of 139.12. Abington B third, 139.91. And in fourth place, Plymouth Whitemarsh C with a time of 159.07. The last two heats are all the A relays. Heat 3 of 4 in lane 5 will be Upper Dublin, and that's G. Witowski, Portnoy, Yoon, and Vitella. And in lane 8 will be Wissahickon A, Decker, Valentine, Crump, and Rajesh.
Heat 3, lane 5, Upper Dublin A, lane 8, Wissahickon A.
The make or break time for districts in this event, the 200 freestyle relay, is 132.31. So anything below that means that they'll be considered to swim at districts. G. Witowski in the water for Upper Dublin in 5, Decker for Wissahickon in lane 8. G. Witowski is just coming off of the 100 butterfly where he had a really nice swim, a drop of 3 seconds. And he's out to an early lead for the Cardinals. G. Witowski split 23.58. Decker 24.47. In the water now for Upper Dublin, Portnoy. And for Wissahickon, Valentine. Portnoy also coming out of the 100 butterfly. Portnoy split 24.23. Wissahickon, Valentine split 24.70. So Upper Dublin has got about a 1.5 lead over Wissahickon right now. And that's Michael Yoon for Upper Dublin. And Daniel Crump for Wissahickon. Yoon split 23.97. And Crump split 24.48. Upper Dublin has expanded that lead to almost 2 full seconds. And this is Jack Vitella anchoring. Jack had a really nice 200 freestyle. And he brings Upper Dublin home with a split of 23.12 and a time of 134.90. Wissahickon,
Final heat of event number 6, boys 200
Rajesh, 23.94, and they came in second, 137.59. The final heat, 3 teams. Abington A in lane 2, Moe, Irvine, Horton, and Suit. In lane 5 is Hatboro, G, Alderson, Mignona, and Warren. And in lane 8, PWA, Hyun, Brennan Coyle, Shuswin, Riley Coyle. These teams are separated by less than a 1.5 seconds. So this could be a really tight race. And all of them are seated close to that breaking point time of 1:32. Right now, G in the lead, just a little bit over Hyun of PW. G of Hatboro. Both doesn't get closer than that. PW split 22.82, Hatboro 22.83. In the water now for PW, Brennan Coyle, and for Hatboro, Spencer Alderson. Coyle split 22.78, Alderson split 22.98. That gives PW a 0.2 of a second lead in this third leg. And it's Sushland for PW and Mignona for Hatboro. And they are really battling it out. This is a close race. It's going to be anybody's call here. Sushland 23.30, Mignona 22.72. And it's Warren for Hatboro and Riley Coyle for PW. And it looks like Warren has got just enough to bring this home. Hatboro wins with a time of 1:30.07, PW second 1:30.52, and Abington third 1:31.73. All three relays beat that magic mark of 1:32.31 for consideration for districts.
Timers, you may come off the bulkhead. Please bring your clipboards with you.
Now we have one more break before the 100-yard freestyle. They had a, what was it? NBC did a thing on the Masters, Vikey and David and what's the name of it? Apparently, we're not the only crazy ones, because I think that little Murray is getting around. Channel 6 News, Jesus Rogers does
like he has this challenge where people challenge him to do something, water skiing and things like that. Well, this little 10-year-old boy challenged him to get in and swim part of the practice over his outdoor facility out there. Same thing, like that fog is coming off the water and, smell around now. Like, Jesus. People got to...
Announcing the results for event number 5, boys 100-yard butterfly. In third place from Pepperell Horsham, Dylan McNagna.
Yeah.
In second place from Upper Dublin, Spencer Modelston. And in first place from Upper Dublin with a time of 55.44, Michael G. Event number 6, boys 200-yard freestyle relay. In third place from Abington High School, Darren Moe, Ethan Irwine, Andrew Morton, Benny Sue. In second place from Plymouth Whitemarsh, Cameron Kuhn, Brennan Coyle, Dean Sussland, Riley Coyle. And in first place from Pepperell Horsham High School with a time of 1:30.07, David G., Spencer Alderson, Dylan McNagna, and Tyler Warren.
Well, I'm sorry, we had 3. We only got 2 girls and they found me that's it. Girls, I think that's 6, 56. Yeah. Half our thing was just listening to him. And he had the full bigger school, the best folk are coming out and how scared she got out there. she adjusting to the female narrative. I was gonna say that ain't easy. That takes a while. Well, there you go. Well, at least in Colorado, right? Or Jackson Hole's by everyone, right? Oh my God. No, thank you. No.
Timers, please head back to the bulkhead. All timers, please head back to the bulkhead.
Okay, we're resuming the meet shortly. The make or break time for the 100-yard freestyle, which is the next event, is very easy to remember, 50.00. So anything under a 50, anything at 49 or lower is going to be able to be considered for districts. There will be 5 heats of the boys 100. They're all full. First heat in lane 2, Irvine of Abington, 3, Weiss of Wissahickon, 4, McGinnis of PW, 5, Armstrong of PW, 6, Ilionet of Wissahickon, 7, Carbone of PW,
Event number 8,
and 8,
boys,
Lynch of
100-yard
PW.
freestyle. There are 5 heats. Heat 1, lane 2, Luke Irwine. Lane 3, Charlie Weiss. Lane 4, James McGinnis. Lane 5, Joe Armstrong. Lane 6, Nathan Ilionet. Lane 7, RJ Carbone. Lane 8, Declan Lynch.
Four lengths of the pool freestyle. This is a sprint event, so they have to get out fast. They're going to want to have a split in that opening split somewhere within like 4 or 5 tenths of their best 50 time. And right now, Irvine of Abington is out much faster than the rest of the field out there in lane 2. And he's out in a 27.48. And he's got a full 2-second and then some lead over the rest of the field. And it looks like Luca Irvine will take this heat going away. And he'll be under a minute. 58.17 for Luke Irvine. In second place, Armstrong of PW, 103.27. Third place, McGinnis of PW, 104.71. Fourth place, Ilionet of Wissahickon, 108.31. Fifth place, Carbone of PW, 111.08. Sixth place, Lynch of PW, 112.09. And seventh place, Weiss of Wissahickon, 113.34. Okay, this heat, Cutler, PW, lane 2. Irvine, Sam Irvine of Abington, lane 3. Riddell of Wissahickon in lane 4. Ryan of PW in lane 5. Krasen of PW in lane 6. Jonathan Tavery of PW in lane 7. Ben Tavery of PW in lane 8. And Obaid of PW in lane 9. This heat is pretty much all PW. 6 of the 8 swimmers from Plymouth Whitemarsh. Jonathan Tavery out to the early lead for PW out in lane 7. His split at the 50, 27.34. Looks like his stroke is getting a little tighter and a little sloppier, but he's still first at the 3rd turn. Coming up on the outside is Ryan from PW, and coming out of nowhere is Riddell of Wissahickon. And it looks like Riddell's going to take this, and he did that all on that last lap. Riddell split on the second half, 29.01, and he's 57.36 for the win. Ryan of PW second, 58.77. And third place was Jonathan Tavery with a time of 58.87.
Lane 7, Carmen Shoppy. Lane 8, Nazari Stonyuk. Lane 9, Matt O'Donnell.
Okay. Heat 3, lane 2, Ian Eddy of Upper Dublin. 3, Fazio of PW. 4, Bell of PW. 5, Kern of Hatboro. 6, Litvinchuk of Quakertown. 7, Shoppy of Wissahickon. 8, Kostyuk of Abington. And 9, O'Donnell of Hatboro. Looks like Bell of PW has scratched in lane 4. Kern and Kostyuk are in the lead early. Kern with a split of 25.56. Kostyuk 25.81. And this is going to be a tight battle here. Kern still in the lead at the 3rd turn. But here comes Litvinchuk from Quakertown. He's making his move here on this last lap. And he and Kern are going to battle it out. And it's Kern of Hatboro with a time of 53.36. Second place, Litvinchuk of Quakertown, 53.61. In third place was Fazio of PW with a time of 54.63.
Jack Juliana. Lane 6, Julian Rocco. Lane 7, Devin Sue. Lane 8, Nathan Valentine. Lane 9, Francisco Saul.
Fourth heat, lane 2, Mo of Abington. 3, Crump of Wissahickon. 4, Coyle of PW. 5, Juliana of Hatboro. 6, Ruoko of Upper Dublin. 7, Suit of Abington. 8, Valentine of Wissahickon. And 9, Song of Upper Dublin. Looks like Coyle in lane 4 is out to the early lead. He had a nice underwater in his start. But now the rest of the field is starting to tighten up a little bit. And it is Coyle still. He and Mo in lane 2 tied 25.04 and Ruoko 25.00. So we're talking hundredths of a second. And it looks like Ruoko has fallen off, and it's lane 7, Suit of Abington, who looks like he's going to take the heat. Suit 51.46, Coyle 51.99, Juliana Hatboro 52.29, Mo of Abington 52.60, Ruoko of Upper Dublin 52.66, Portnoy, I'm sorry.
Lane 2, Super Jack. Lane 3, Ashton Portnoy. Lane 4, Jonas Andrelonis. Lane 5, Connor Brennan. Lane 6, Cameron Hunt. Lane 7, Andrew Morton. Lane 8, Spencer Allison. Lane 9, Michael Jubertowski.
Okay, Rajesh of Wissahick in lane 2, Portnoy Upper Dublin 3, Angelonis Upper Dublin 4, Brennan of Upper Dublin 5, Hyun of PW in 6, Horton of Abington in 7, Modelson of Upper Dublin in 8, and G. Wiertowski of Upper Dublin in 9. Upper Dublin has 5 in this last heat, which increases their chances of winning. Brennan comes out of the start with the early lead. And he's attacking this race, getting to that. He's the first one to the wall on that first turn. And looked real strong coming off. That's Brennan in lane 5. And he's being pushed by Hune of PW in lane 6. And that's Andrelonis, his teammate, in lane 4 on either side. So it's Andrelonis and Hune pushing Brennan, who is going to be first to the third turn. And now he's got to hold on. It's tightening up at the end. Brennan, 48.77. Hyun, second, 48.91. Angelonis third, 48.97. And they're the three that are under that 50.00 mark. Horton is fourth with a 50.09. Fifth place, G. Wiertowski, Upper Dublin, 50.82. Sixth place, Modelson of Upper Dublin, 51.67. Portnoy, seventh, 52.26. And eighth, 53.73, Rajesh. Now we go to the longest race of the day, the 500 freestyle, 20 lengths to the pool. You'll have plenty of time to watch these guys swim. The magic time to be under for district consideration is 5:03.52. There are 2 heats of the 500. Heat 1, Frisch of Quakertown. In 2, lane 3, Ham of Hatboro. Lane 4, Butcher of Quakertown. Lane 5, Cooper of Hatboro. Lane 6, Taylor of PW. Lane 7, Sook of Abington. And lane 8, Williams of Abington. We have just a small wait while the counters are being given their placards. Each swimmer is going to need a counter, and they use those placards to tell them what lap they're on, since this is a long race and nobody wants to get confused and swim more than they need to. The key to this race, trying to find a nice rhythm and maintaining those splits. What 500 swimmers want to be able to do is kind of come up with a target split and try to stay within the confines of that. They also want to try to use their walls and get some distance off of those turns. Right now it's Quakertown's Butcher who's out in the early lead. And his early split is 28.11. I don't assume that he's going to be able to maintain those 28s. It's the second split usually that kind of establishes the rhythm that they get into. That first split, there's a little bit more of energy. And now the 50 there is probably going to establish that pace. So again, he went from 28 to 31.37. So I think Butcher is going to want to try to keep in that 31, 32 range in order for him to accomplish his goals. He's the only one that was out at the 100 mark in under a minute at 59.48. Again, you'll see these guys there. There's not a lot of kicking going on in the 500. They want to try to save those legs for later in the race. Now, Butcher's split there was 33.56, so he is falling off of his early pace. And he looks like he's tightening up just a little bit. Whereas Cooper from Hatboro started off a little bit slower, but seems to be making his move now. He was also 33.56. And if you're watching at home, you want to see how far they get off of those walls. Are they getting past the flags and cutting down the number of strokes they take per lap? Butcher, 35.06. Cooper, 33.95. So Cooper seems to be staying in that 33 range. And as such, he's catching up to Butcher, who seems to be falling off of that pace. I can see down on the deck, the Hatboro coach is trying to signal to Cooper to try to use his underwaters to extend his streamline, cut down the distance he has to swim. Cooper is in the lead with a 34.22. He's now established a 2-second lead over the rest of the field and seems to be stretching it out. A little short coming off of that wall. He's not quite making past the flags, but he is keeping a nice even rhythm to his stroke. And we're at the 300 mark, and Cooper is at 3:16.48. He is definitely coming up, and that is tough, holding your breath and giving your streamline and using your fly kicks when you're 12, 13 laps into it is hard. Now it seems to be kind of a battle for second place, as Ham seems to be making some progress on catching up to Butcher. And you see that some of the races, like over in lane 7 and 8, these guys are going stroke for stroke with one another. Cooper is back to that 33.57. He's got 5 more laps to go, so he's going to start trying to pick up that kick. So you're going to look at his feet to see whether he drives with his kick. And again, Ham is making his move on Butcher. And it looks like also Taylor from PW is starting to creep into the mix. But Cooper has definitely established himself. It's a little bit uneven. This one was 34.46. Not bad, but not the 33s he was holding earlier. You might have noticed that Cooper's counter was pumping those counter cards up and down. That's a signal to them to pick up the pace, to pick up the kick. And there's the bell, which means this is the bell lap. This signals to the leader that they've only got 2 laps to go. And you can see Cooper using that kick just a little bit more than he had been earlier. He was 33.1 in that last split, and I suspect he'll be somewhere in the 31 range for this last split, because now it's just whatever you got left, just put it in there. His coaches are trying to urge him on. You can see again the kick is there, and Cooper finishes his last split, 30.43. He had a little something in the tank there at the end, and he put it all out there. His time, 5:28.06. And the field has tightened up between Ham, Butcher, and Taylor. And after 20 laps, these guys are going to be separated by less than a second. In second place, Taylor from PW, 5:49.13. In third place, Ham of Hatboro, 5:49.59. And in fourth place, Butcher, 5:50.55. In fifth place, Sook of Abington, 5:59.54. All those guys are under the 6-minute mark. Williams of Abington just didn't make it under that 6-minute mark, 6:07. And Frisch of Quakertown, 6:17.62. Now we have the second and final heat of the 500 free. And just like in the 200 free, Upper Dublin has over half of the entries in this. Okay, so the entries in this final heat. In lane 2, Salamov of Upper Dublin. In lane 3, James of Abington. Lane 4, In of Upper Dublin. 5, Keeler of Upper Dublin. 6, Vitella of Upper Dublin. 7, D'Onofrio of Wissahickon. 8, Alderson of Hatboro. And 9, Davis of PW. I think the battle's going to come down to the 3 Upper Dublin swimmers in lanes 4, 5, and 6, as they are well ahead of the rest of the field in the seeds. A good 9 or 10 seconds ahead of everybody else. Keeler and Vitella had 2 very nice swims in the 200 today. They're in lanes 5 and 6, so I'd be looking for them to get out early and try to keep out there. Keeler's opening split, 25.29. Again, that first 50 is not indicative of the kind of pace that they're going to try to maintain over the whole 20 laps, but they do want to get out there and kind of get a little open water to work with, and that's what Keeler has done. Vitella was almost a full second behind at 26.19. And Keeler's 100 split, 52.89. That's probably pretty close to his best flat race 100, so that's pretty good for Aiden. Vitella's second, he's about 2 seconds behind at 54.38, and In, not far behind, 55.30. But again, you can see that the 3 Upper Dublin swimmers have established some distance between themselves and the rest of the pack. Keeler 28.70, Vitella 29.07, and In 29.79. So these guys are out pretty nice. Keeler especially 121.59 at that point. Now what they're going to want to do is hold that 29 or 30.31 split. Keeler's 200 time, 150.94. He's still under that 30 mark, 29.35. Vitella not too far behind him, 29.85. In falling off a little bit off the pace at 155.66. But they're nice opening 200s. Now the question is, can they hold it? Because those are pretty fast times going out. Keeler still under 30, 29.64. Vitella 30.01, first time over 30. In at 30.91. Now this is the 300 mark, and if these guys are significantly under 3 minutes right now, Keeler is at 250.58, 30.00, Vitella 30.12. He's at 253.43, and In 257.44. Again, if all they do is hold that 30-point mark, they're going to be well under that 5-minute mark. And certainly well under that magic number of 5:03, but they're going to want to really push it to make that district qualifying time. Keeler's still under 30, 29.92. He looks strong. Vitella at 30.35. And In at 31.13. Again, Upper Dublin well in control of this race, the 1, 2, 3 spots. $29.97 for Keeler. He is having the race of his life. Vitella is starting to make his move, 30.09. These guys are really looking strong. In at 31.36, he is falling off the pace. He's going to have to pick it up if he wants to get under that 5-minute mark. He's at 3:59.93 at the full 100. And here comes the bell lap for Keeler. And he's at 4:20.39 at 29.92. If he brings this back the way he could, he'll be under 4:50. And here comes Vitella. Upper Dublin might have 3 guys under that 5-minute mark. Keeler, 4:49.94. Just barely under that 4:50 mark. Vitella, 4:53.42, and in just barely misses that 5-minute mark, 5:01.39. 5:07.57 for Yams of Abington in 4th place. D'Onofrio of Wissahickon in 5th, 5:08.62. Salamov of Upper Dublin, 5:11.48 in 6th. Alderson of Hatboro, 5:18.11 in 7th. And Davis of PW 8th, 5:32.80. All of those guys did a really great job. All of them well under their seed times. Well under their seed times. That whole heat swam a good 4, 5, even 6 and 7 seconds faster, and they were seeded. And now we have the 100-yard backstroke. There's 2 heats of this. In lane 2, Denis of Wissahickon. Lane 3, Charnical of Abington. Lane 4, Barty of Hatboro. Lane 5, Pasquarello of Abington. Lane 6, Cavallo Huey of PW. Lane 7, Long of Hatboro. And lane 8, Liu of Plymouth Whitemarsh. It looks like lane 8 has scratched. Liu is not up there. So what we're watching with the backstrokers is that underwater fly kick, and you can see lane 7. That was Kyle Long of Hatboro kicking all the way past the halfway mark underwater. And you can see that that underwater kick is actually faster than him being up on the surface. And he's out to the early lead out here in lane 7. Lane 5, Pasquarella is not using that underwater quite the same way, and he's ended up swimming at least 4 or 5 extra strokes per lap compared to Long of Hatboro. Long was out in 31.08, and that's the kind of split that will get him well under his 1:10.4 seed time. Looks like Pasquarello of Abington has come back. He's got the turnover to finish, and he reaches for the wall in a time of 1:05.20. Pasquarello first. Second, Long, 1:07.37. Barty of Hatboro third, 1:07.90. Cavallo Huey of Plymouth Whitemarsh fourth, 1:08.94. Charnical of Abington fifth, 1:19.23. And Denis of Wissahickon sixth with a time of 1:31.04.
Final heat of event 10.
And the second and final heat is coming up.
Start. Lane 3, Alexander McHugh. Lane 4, Dylan McNagan. Lane 5, Riley Coyle. Lane 6, Caleb Einhoff. Lane 7, Odin Andrews. Lane 8, Francisco Song. Lane 9, Tyler Chili.
Okay. So in lane 2, Roman of Wissahickon. Lane 3, McHugh of Abington. Lane 4, Mignona of Hatboro. Lane 5, Coyle of Plymouth Whitemarsh. Lane 6, Einhoff of Quakertown. Lane 7, Andrews of Upper Dublin. 8 is Song of Upper Dublin, and 9 is Schilling of Wissahickon. The race will definitely be in the middle of the pool between Coyle and Einhoff, who are only 0.4 of a second separated in their seed times. And those two had a nice battle in the IM, and I suspect that's where it's going to happen now.
Looks like Coyle rode that underwater out just a little bit longer than Einoff, but Einoff's turnover gets him to the wall first. And it looks like Einoff is going to be the leading at the 50 mark at 25.65, Coyle 26.59. He's going to need to make a real strong comeback to make up that second difference between the two. Einoff to that third wall first. And it looks like Einoff has got the lead. Here comes Coyle. He's got a good, strong last lap. But I don't think he's going to have enough to... He's going to... Einoff, 53.32, first place. Coyle, 54.05. Third place, Mignon of Hatboro, 57.22. Fourth place, Abington's McHugh, 58.68. Fifth place, Andrews of Upper Dublin, minute .034. Song of Upper Dublin, 7th, 103.62. And in sixth place was Schilling of Wissahickon with a 102.79.
Lane 6, Kamani Kinyanju. Lane 7, Kenneth Pereira. Lane 8, Caleb Hay. Lane 9, Nate Fordy.
Both Riley and Einoff, both Coyle and Einoff were a second to a second and a half under their seed times. Einoff had a real nice swim. This is the first heat of the 100 breaststroke, first of 3. Lane 2, Rhodes, Abington. 3, Cooper of Hatboro. 4, Garcia of Abington. 5, Zaporozhets of Abington. Lane 6, Kinyounjois of PW. Lane 7, Ferrara of PW. 8 is Pay of Hatboro. And 9 is Ford of Wissahickon. Breaststroke is a nice quiet stroke. Everything is done under the surface of the water. Both arms moving at the same time, but unlike butterfly, they don't come out of the water. They stay underneath. So the key is power and rhythm. Trying to coordinate those arms and legs and reach in the recovery in a nice tight streamline to get the most distance they can per stroke. You'll also notice in the breaststroke the underwater pullouts. When they come off the wall, you can watch here, they push off the wall, they do a fly kick, they pull down with their arms and then kick breaststroke. And they want to try to get distance underwater. That's a great strength. And it looks like Zaporozhets of Abington is going to win this one with a time of 1:16.17. Kinyanjois of PW, second, 1:16.85. Garcia of Abington, third, 1:21.56. Fourth, Ferrara of PW, 1:24.36. Fifth, Pay of Hatboro, 1:24.57. Sixth, Cooper of Hatboro, 1:27.96. Seventh, Rhodes of Abington, 1:29.83. And Nate Ford's teammates are encouraging him to get in there for that finish from Wissahickon. And Ford finishes in a time of 2:05.76. Now we have the second of 3 heats.
Heat number 2, lane 2, RJ Boyd. Lane 3, Alex Vasco. Lane 4, Sam Forte. Lane 5, Hudson Bowers. Lane 6, Kate Decker. Lane 7, Nelson Cratius. Lane 8, Joshua Einoff. Lane 9, Nazarene Custoyo.
Lane 2, Boyd, Upper Dublin. 3, Babka of PW. 4, Forte of Wissahickon. 5, Bowers of Wissahickon. 6, Decker of Wissahickon. 7, Cratius of Wissahickon. 8, Einoff of Quakertown. And 9, Kostiak of Abington. Again, look to see. Now you see this heat, they were getting over halfway down the pool on that underwater pullout. That's what you want to do. Again, The fewer strokes that you take in a given lap, usually the better. That gives you a little bit more strength at the end of your race. So doing what coaches will call cutting down the pool by using that underwater. And right now it looks like Bowers is out to the early lead, 31.87. And again, he's getting pretty close to halfway down the pool before he takes his first stroke on the surface. They do have to break the surface by the time they complete their second stroke. And Bowers is ahead of the field by about a second and a half. Now he's going to try to reach to that wall, try to stretch that stroke out a little bit just there at the end and use his legs to finish. Bowers, first place, 108.42. Decker of Wissahickon, second, 110.47. Third, Boyd of Upper Dublin, 111.05. Fourth, Babka of PW, 111.09. Fifth, Irvine, Fifth was Einoff of Quakertown, 111.14.
Lane 4, Michael Hughes. Lane 5, David G. Lane 6, Cameron Kuhn. Lane 7, Victor Yee. Lane 8, Ethan Irwine. Lane 9, Tom Manley.
Okay, and this is the third and final heat. In lane 2, Heisman of Upper Dublin. 3, Sushland of PW. 4, Yoon of Upper Dublin. 5, G of Hatboro. 6, Hewen of PW. 7, Yee of Hatboro. 8, Irwine of Abington. And 9, Manley of PW. So PW's got 3 in here. Upper Dublin's got 2. Hatboro's got 2. And Abington 1. The magic number here is try to break that minute mark. And there's a couple people in the middle of the pool that might do that. You can see G is out to his, he had a nice IM, and he's got a nice early lead in the breaststroke. Again, he's not rushing his stroke, but he's out 27.94. Sushland, Hewen is second with 28.09, and Sushland third, 28.57. So those guys are out in a good spot to try to break that minute mark. They're going to have to bring it back into 31 in order to do that. Zhu looks strong. He's got some good height to his stroke. He's got some good reach. And G does it. He's 59.04. Second place, Hewen of PW, 1 minute .31. Third, Sushland of PW, 1 minute .81. Fourth place, Yee of Hatboro, 101.02. Fifth place, Yoon of Upper Dublin, 102.40. Sixth place, Irwine Abington, 103.10. Seventh place, Heisman of Upper Dublin, 103.45. And in eighth place, Manley of PW, 104.57. The magic number for that last event, by the way, was 103.17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those competitors were under the district consideration time. So that was a good fast heat. And again, all of them looked like they were under their seed time. David G, in particular, winning that event, his time going in was 101.70, and he went 59.04. That's a 2.5 second drop. This is the final break before the last event of the day, which will be the 400 free relay. Again, very impressed by those last times. Heisman was 2 seconds under his seed time. Sushland was 3 seconds under his. Hyun was 2 seconds under his. And Yi was 2 seconds under his. You just saw those nice drops, and that's the kind of thing you want to see in these championship meets. The opportunity to swim your best, swim your fastest when it really matters. And hopefully some of these guys, I have a feeling Yi will make it to districts with that 59.04, and some of these other guys that are a minute point might be on the bubble. District 1, again, is only taking 16 swimmers, the top 16 in the greater surrounding Philadelphia counties. District 1 is a very large swimming district with Delaware County, Bucks County, Montgomery County, all part of it. Almost 50 schools have teams that could be competing at districts in the last couple of years.
For event number 8, boys 100 yard freestyle.
And here are the
in
results.
Third place from Upper Dublin, Jonas Angelonis. In second place from Plymouth Whitemarsh, Cameron Hyun. And in first place from Upper Dublin High School with a winning time of 48.77, Connor Brennan. Event number 9, boys 500 yard freestyle. In third place from Upper Dublin, Jonathan Inns. In second place from Upper Dublin, Jack Vitella. And in first place from Upper Dublin with a time of 4:49.94, Aiden Keeler. Event number 10, boys 100 yard backstroke. In third place from Pepperell Worsham, Dylan Magnaga. In second place from Plymouth Whitemarsh, Riley Coyle. And in first place from Quakertown High School with a time of 53.32, Caleb Einall. Event number 11, boys 100 yard breaststroke. In third place from Plymouth Whitemarsh, Dean Suxland. In second place from Plymouth Whitemarsh, Cameron Kuhn. And in first place from Pepperell Worsham with a time of 59.04, David G.
So you just heard the medalists for the 100 freestyle, the 500 freestyle, the 100 backstroke, and the 100 breaststroke. Congratulations to all of them for accomplishing some major goals. Sushland.
got the trophy down there, so I imagine they're going to do some presentation. So I don't want to stop this before it gets there.
All right, our final event of the meet was event 12, boys, 400-yard freestyle relay. There are 5 heats. In heat 1, lane 2 was Hicken C, lane 5, Plymouth Whitemarsh C, lane 8 was Hicken B.
We'll hope. All right, this is the final event of the day. It's the boys' 400-yard freestyle relay. Each swimmer has to swim 100 yards of the pool, 4 lengths. The magic number they're trying to beat is 3:22.00. In the first of 5 heats will be Wissahickon C in lane 2. That's Riddell, Latchford, Roman, and Dupuy. In lane 5 will be Plymouth Whitemarsh C. That's Armstrong, Davis, McGinnis, and Carbone. And in lane 8 will be Wissahickon B, Shoppy, Schilling, Cratius, and Decker. And stick around after the final relay. There will be a presentation of the championship trophy once that has been determined.
Heat 1 of the relays, you may forward to the bulkhead.
And the first heat is off. Again, this is a race where you may see the lead change several times between relays. Since that 4-lap race is a little bit longer, and conditioning will impact how fast these guys will go. Right now, Wissahickon in the early lead at Shoppy, and he's out in a 26.70. He's a good 2 seconds ahead of the nearest competitor. One of the things, again, you're looking for is how well they use their walls and how little they breathe when they get from the flags to the wall. They want to get a good, strong finish. And Wissahickon's Shoppy is out in 56.27, giving them a 3-second lead over Wissahickon C, where Riddell was a 59.71. PW's leadoff leg, 105.31, was Joe Armstrong. This is Tyler Schilling in the water for Wissahickon in lane 8. Wissahickon C in lane 2. Blatchford's in the water. And in lane 5 for PW is Davis. Wissahickon B again in lead, 152.18 at the 200 mark. Wissahickon C is 155.35, and PW 207.23. In the water for Wissahickon B is Cratius. For Wissahickon C is Roman. And for PWC is McGinnis. See Cratius put his head down from those flags to the wall and didn't breathe, getting into that wall as fast as he could. And again, Wissahickon B with a sizable lead, 5-second lead over Wissahickon C, 248.70 to 253.74. Anchoring for Wissahickon B is Decker. For Wissahickon C is Dupuis. And for PWC, it's Carbone. Good discipline from lane 8. That's Decker, who put his head down well before the flags and did not breathe. Wissahickon B, first place, 346.26. Wissahickon C, second place, 358.57. And Plymouth White Marsh C, 423.77. The next heat, there will be 3 relays. Abington C will be in lane 2. Williams, Bothwell, Irvine, and Sook. In lane 5 will be the Hatboro B team of Kern, Cooper, O'Donnell, and Ham. And in lane 8 will be the PWB team of Taylor, Cavalo, Huey, Tavery, and Cutler. We have to compliment the meet director, Kate Shire. She has been running a tight meet, so much so that they are actually 5 minutes ahead of the timeline that was published. So in the water for Abington in lane 2 is Nick Williams. Lane 5 for Hatboro is Tyler Kern. And lane 8 for Plymouth White Marsh, Aaron Taylor. And it's Tyler Kern, who had some good races earlier in the day, is out early and fast. Kern split at the 50 mark, 26.11. So he'll be well under 57 or 56 with his 100. He can maintain that kind of speed. And he's taking Pepper out to a commanding lead with this opening leg. And just as I predicted, 54.12 for Kern. That's a great opening leg in this heat. 101.56 for Williams of Abington. And 104.29, Aaron Taylor of PW. These guys on the B relay are swimming to try to impress the coach to possibly make it up into the A relay. So their splits are going to be really important to their coaches. And Cooper of Hatboro was at 58, bringing it in at 152.46. Hatboro's got about a 7-second lead over Abington C out there in lane 2. Swimming for Hatboro now is O'Donnell. Swimming for Abington in lane 2, Sam Irwine. And in lane 8 for PW is Tavery. Pepper's relay split at that point, 2:48.56, well under that 4-minute mark. That's not going to be in question. The question is, can they get to 3:22? Not likely. Anchoring for Anchoring for PW, Kenny Carter, and anchoring for Abington, Max Sook. Hatboro B is going to crush their seed time of 3:56. And they come in with a time of 3:47.37. Almost 10 full seconds faster than their seed time. Abington C isn't going to break that 4-minute mark. They're 4:01.24. And Kenny Cutler for Plymouth White Marsh brings that B relay in at 4:13.92. And this is the third of 5 heats and the final B relay teams.
Coming in heat number 3, Abington, lane 2, Abington B, lane 5, Upper Dublin B, lane 8, Upper Dublin C.
Lane 2, Abington B is McHugh, Kostiuk, Luke Irwine, and Franchetti. In lane 5 for Upper Dublin B, Keeler, Giortowski, Ruocco, and Portnoy. And in lane 8 for Upper Dublin C, Andrews, Caldwell, Chickarone, and Song. That Upper Dublin B relay is going to be a good example of what I was talking about. These guys are looking to try to impress their coach in hopes of cracking that A relay. So even though they might not look like they're swimming for anything, they'll be swimming for time. Aiden Keeler is leading off for Upper Dublin, and he's had a spectacular meet today. He won both the 200 free and the 500 free in personal best times, and he looks strong right now going out to lead off this Upper Dublin B relay. Keeler is out in 25.16. Abington's McHugh, 25.58 in his first 50. Again, Keeler's not a sprinter per se, but still, the strength of his 2 and his 500, he's going to come in with a nice time. 52.64 for Keeler, 53.93 for McHugh. Andrews, 55.95. This is Giortowski, and he's out in the 23.88. In lane 8 is Caldwell for Upper Dublin, and in lane 2 is Kostiak from Abington. And here comes Giortowski. He's had a nice meet today too. And he's right around the 51 mark. Good split. Upper Dublin B easily in the lead by a good 6 seconds now. And this is Julian Ruocco for Upper Dublin. And he's 24.92 at the 50 mark. Abington B starting to come off the pace. That's Luke Irwine out in lane 2. And coming on strong in lane 8 is Luca Chickarone from Upper Dublin in the Upper Dublin C. Ruocco comes in, and he's at 52, which again gives Upper Dublin B a really nice lead for Portnoy, who is anchoring. Then Upper Dublin C has snuck up on Abington to take the lead over them. That's Francisco Song anchoring for Upper Dublin, and John Franchetti for Abington. So the Upper Dublin C and the Abington B relays are going to be fighting it out for second, whereas the Upper Dublin B relay has got about almost a pool length lead over the rest of the relays. These guys are going to have a nice time. They're going to be probably under 3:30, which is great depth for Upper Dublin. 3:28.95 for the relay from Upper Dublin. In second place goes to Upper Dublin C with a time of 3:41.66. Abington B just barely third, 3:41.88. So 0.2 of a second was the difference there. This brings us to heat 4 of 5, and these are all A relays from here on in. So these are the scoring relays. In lane 2 will be Quakertown, Litvinchuk, Josh Einoff, Pfeiffer, Caleb Einoff. In lane 5 will be Abington A, Ethan Irvine, Suit, Yames, and Horton. And Wissahickon A will be in lane 8. Crump, D'Onofrio, Valentine, and Rajesh. It looks like the race, according to the seed times, is going to happen between lane 5, Abington A, and Wissahickon A, separated only by 7/10 of a second. The Quakertown's been having a nice meet today. I wouldn't count them out.
What's our district time for this one?
3:22. Ethan Irvine leading off for Abington, and he's out to the 50 mark faster than everybody else at 24.53. Wissahickons lead off Daniel Crump, 26.19. And Daniel Litvinchuk from Quakertown, 26.27. Again, Irvine seems to be stretching out his lead, and he's finishing strong. He's in at 51.17. It's going to be a good 4 seconds faster, 3 or 4 seconds faster than the rest of the field. Quakertown was 54.57, Litvinchuk, and Crump was 55.04 for Wissahickon. So Abington's got a nice early lead. Can they build on that? That's Benny Suit, and he's at 24.96, and he's faster than his two competitors, so indeed he is building on that lead. D'Onofrio of Wissahickon, 25.83 going out, and Josh Einoff, 26.89. Suit in at 52 for his 100. So it appears to be, although on paper the race between Abington and Wissahickon was supposed to be closer than this, it looks like Abington is really taking it to the field. They're going to be well under their seed time if they keep this up. That's the Ames in the water for Abington right now, and he's out in 24.55. Pfeiffer for Quakertown, 24.03, and Valentine for Wissahickon was 26.0. Oh yeah, Abington's going to be rushing their seed time. That's Horton for Abington in the anchor leg. And he's out in a 23.89. Quakertown looks like they've taken command of the second place spot, and Wissahickon has fallen back a little off the pace. Horton, 50 point, and that's a 3:24.98. They're a full 11 seconds ahead of their seed time, Abington. They just threw down. They didn't quite get to that district mark of 3:22.00, but they certainly made a good drop. Quakertown second with 3:31.63, and Wissahickon third with a time of 3:36.54.
And our final heat of the meet. Heat 5 has been 12. Lane 2, Pepper Horsham A,
Abington's time just was 1 second, just a little under 1 second faster than Upper Dublin's seed time. So could Abington win this event from the heat before? It's possible. This final heat, lane 2 for the Hatboro Hatters, Mignona, Alderson, Juliana, and Warren. In lane 5 for Upper Dublin, Angelonis, Brennan, Inn, and Modelson. And in lane 8 for Plymouth Whitemarsh, Fazio, Krasin, Tavery, and Ryan. This is going to be interesting. Hatboro boys have been having a good meet, so I expect they'll be going a lot faster than their 3:34 seed time. It's Androlonis for Upper Dublin and Mignona for Hatboro, and they're virtually a dead heat. Mignona 23.45, Angelonis 23.48. This is an interesting strategy for Upper Dublin. They're putting their fastest swimmer of this relay second. My guess is they want to try to get a lead. Woo! Angelonis 49.16 and Mignona 49.23, so less than a tenth of a second separating the two. Fazio from PW was 55.05, so the race is definitely between Upper Dublin and Hatboro. And Connor Brennan was just out in a 22.58 to his feet. That is a nice opening split. Hopefully he can hold on and get that lead that Coach Shire of Upper Dublin was looking for. Brennan was 49.1 in his split. And that did the job. That got them a nice 5-second lead over Hatboro. Right now, that's Jonathan Inn in the water. And Inn doesn't seem to be surrendering anything to the Hatboro relay, but this is going to come down to the anchor. Tyler Warren, who's going to be anchoring for Hatboro, has had himself a really good day. The question is, can he make up a potential 5 seconds? That's Modelson in the water for Upper Dublin, and there's Warren going in, and it's about a 5-second lead. So he's going to have to really make up some space. I mean, Tyler's having a good day, but I don't think he's got what it takes to make up this kind of space right now. We're talking about a 6-second lead going into that last 50. And it looks like Modelson is going to be bringing it home for Upper Dublin. Now the question is, will they beat Abington's time from the previous heat? And they do. They go 3:17.82, so they're under that district ceiling time that they had to break. And Hatboro, wow, I don't know. Hatboro 3:24.52. It's a big drop on their seed time, but I'm not sure if that, I can't remember if that's fast enough to have beat Abington out for second place. And this is Ryan from Plymouth Whitemarsh. And he brings their relay in at 3:52.81. So Upper Dublin wins the final event of the day.
You may swim down. Timers, please bring your clipboard and sheets over to the table. Thank you to all of our volunteers.
Okay.
We'll have our final scores in just a moment.
Good. Knuckleheads. Yeah.
That's what I heard. I'm so happy, you know? It only took 6 weeks, but you got it. There we go. Camera operator. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can turn it up in there, but I don't know. the other day when she first started, she came in and she couldn't get the car to go in the car.
Results of event 12, boys 400 yard freestyle relay.
She's just not different. Yeah. And she was also coming in.
In third place, from Plymouth White Marsh High School, Chris Fazio, Eli Krasson, Jonathan Tavery, J.B. Ryan. In second place, from Capital Horsham High School, Dylan McNagna, Spencer Alderson, Dak Juliana, and Tyler Warren. And in first place, from Upper Dublin High School, the time was 3:17.82, Jonas Ambrosius, Brennan, Jonathan Inn, and Michael Mortowski. Results of today's meet. In sixth place, 124 points, Quakertown High School. In fifth place, with 215 points, Wissahickon High School. In fourth place, with 279 points, Abington High School. In third place, with 326 points, Plymouth White Marsh High School. In second place, with 331 points, Capital Horsham High School. And in first place, our meet and conference champions with 475 points, Upper Dublin High School.
So the Upper Dublin Boys High School team has won the championship. That was Coach Shire and the three senior tri-captains. That would be Aiden Keeler, all the way to the right, Aiden Keeler, Michael Yoon, and Ashton Portnoy. Congratulations to the Upper Dublin boys. And that wraps up our coverage of the boys championship today. We'll be back on air for the girls in a little over an hour.